my lovely Frosty fam, it's me Karen Frost here at Nail Decadence, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do an infill of acrylic with Acrygel or Polygel, you know, that hybrid type product that is like putty, the squishy stuff, because it's basically a combination of gel and acrylic. That's all Polygel or Acrygel is. So yeah, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. However, I won't be showing you the designing of the nails, because this actually happened just before I fell down the stairs. So the only picture I've got of the colour choice that I put on is the picture of me after I'd fallen down the stairs and broken a nail. So yeah, I hadn't actually finished designing the nails at that point. Anyway, it was a disaster. So yeah, I don't have the video of designing them afterwards. But anyway, let's get into what we're doing right now. So first things first, I will use my e-file with a coarse bit, and I will remove all of the gel polish. This design, if you wanted to see how I did this design, it's actually the previous video, the most recent one I've uploaded. So if you want to see how I did this set, go ahead and check the previous video out. It's a really pretty set. It's turquoisey jade green with this peachy coral orange. Oh, it's lovely. Anyway, so if you want to see that one, like I said, check that out. So I used the same routine. So you will see me do the same thing over and over on each nail. I go up one side, I go along the cuticle area, and then I go down the other side of the nail, and then I will work my way across, taking off the polish as I go, as you can see I'm doing now. That way I know that I am not going to miss any bits, and it's just good to have a routine so that you go into sort of autopilot as you're going along. As you can see, it going up one side, then I'll go around the cuticle area. Be very careful around the cuticle area. This bit is rounded at the top, so it can't cut you anyway, but still be careful, because you don't, around the cuticle area, the acrylic is very thin, so you don't want to be pushing hard. You know, don't want to put pressure on this, because you are just removing the gel polish, not the acrylic, because they haven't grown out enough to need a rebalance, so they just need a quick sort of infill at the back, or a backfill, however you want to call it. There's various ways. People call it refills, people call it infills, people call them backfills. Whatever which way you call it, that's what you're going to do. Now I want a nice smooth surface to work on, so that I have less filing after I've done my infill. So I will take my hand file, and as you can see, I will go up one side of the side walls and the side of the body of the nail on each finger, and I'll go across all of them, and you see I've got this routine going. Next one, same thing again, and I keep going until I get to the little finger, and at that point then after I've done that side, I will switch to doing the other side of the nail. So I will let you watch this bit. This video has a lot of filing in it, because I know some people really want to see how to file, because they're trying to learn how to get their shapes perfected, well, as perfect as you can get them. So this video is good for the people who like filing. If you're not into filing, this probably isn't the video for you, and I'd suggest skipping ahead to the next portion if filing's not your thing. But I put it in the title, so you were forewarned that there was going to be a lot of filing in this. This is for my filing freaks. Those who enjoy watch filing. I enjoy watching filing. I hate doing it, but I enjoy watching it. So I am a filing freak. I hold my hands up high. My name is Karen. I'm a filing freak. So if anyone wants to join me, come join my filing freak club. Oh, good God, you gotta laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, won't you? Oh dear, I'm such a muppet sometimes, but hey, I entertain myself. What more do you want? If I entertain you as well, great. Anyway, as you've seen, I'm going along the other side of the nail now at this point, and this is, I'm trying to keep my stiletto shape nice and sharp, but I'm not trying to taper it in too much because I want the shape to still remain the same as before I had removed the gel polish, as it were. So I'm just on the thumb now, doing that last side there. And now that I've finished that, I will go around the cuticle area and just make sure that is nice and flush and rounded, and it's got a nice slope, a nice even slope. We don't want a wedge there, we want a nice even slope where it's just sloping from the natural nail up. And I'll remove any bits that have lifted, that will go. And also, if there is any gel polish, little tiny bits of gel polish left over, this will get rid of those too. So it's giving me a lovely, smooth, even, curved, contoured shape to do my infill on. Because when you see how I apply my infill, you'll obviously understand why I've done it the way I've done it, so that there's less filing at the end. And yes, you can use Polygel or Acrygel to fill in your acrylic nails. You can also use it to fill in your gel nails, because technically they are all acrylic products, so chemically they are all very, very similar, so they can all work in conjunction with each other. Because even though we call it gel or polygel or acrygel, they're all acrylics. Hard gel, gel polish, they're all forms of acrylic, so there's no problem in putting them together. I'm also going to do a set of nails where I encapsulate gel polish, because that is also something you can do. You can encapsulate your gel polish. There's not a problem in doing that at all, so keep an eye out for that video. I mean, I've got lots of videos planned. Don't know when I'm going to be coming out with them, but I do have quite a few things in the works. So, you know, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, because I've got a lot of fun things coming up for you guys. And thank you to everybody that has subscribed already. I'm at, I think it's 1,400, I think, around there, which is pretty dang amazing. So thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. I never thought I would have 100 people, let alone, you know, 1,400. I mean, in YouTube terms, that is but a drop in the ocean. It's not a huge number compared to, you know, proper YouTubers, but for me, that is massive. That's huge. That's huge. Anyway, I've switched to my sanding band to finish off the last two nails, because my hands and my fingers were getting tired. So this is something you can also do. You can also do it with your e-file. It's all personal preference, and yeah. So now that that part is done, I will use my cuticle pusher and push back my cuticles gently. This is sped up, so it looks a bit crazy, but I'm being very gentle. This is my favourite shape of cuticle pusher. These are the hoof-shaped cuticle pushers. I find these much nicer to work with. So on to the cuticle bit on my e-file. So once again, you will see that I will do one side of the cuticle area, move on to the next finger, and do that same side on the next finger and work my way along. And once I get to the end, which would be the thumb in this case, I flip my e-file into reverse, and then I will do the other side of the nails and work my way across from thumb to little finger. It's just a good routine to have. You don't miss any fingers this way. It becomes autopilot. Get a routine for whatever part of the nail you're doing. Get a routine so that it's all in place, so that you don't miss things. Early on in my nail career, I found that I would miss things, like I would forget the nail dehydrator, or I would forget to put on the primer or something. Once you get a good routine going, you won't forget parts because it's just autopilot. So for any newbies out there, I suggest get yourself into a routine of doing exactly the same thing on every time on each set, kind of thing. Obviously it depends on what you're doing to that set, because not every set will have gel polish, of course, but yeah, you know what I mean. Have a routine and it will set you in good standing. So I finished that bit, so all the cuticles have been pushed back. I have removed any cuticle dead skin from my nail plate. I've dusted off, I've wiped over with a lint-free wipe and rubbing alcohol, and now I'm putting my base gel on, because for Acrygel Polygel type product you do need a base gel. So very thin layer, sort of scrub it into that regrowth area and pull it down the rest of the nail, but a very thin layer. You don't want to add a thick layer at this point, just very thin. This just gives you the adherence that you need, so this will grab onto the nail plate really nicely, and then the Acrygel will grab onto that, and therefore you'll have good adhesion. You shouldn't have anyway, lifting and whatnot. I broke the tip of my thumbnail, as you can see here, so I will be repairing that. So the base layer has all been applied, 60 seconds in an LED lamp, and I'm just going to grab a form and just sculpt the tip of this thumb as well as do my infill. So I have got my polygel squeezed out already onto a little palette, because I have trouble squeezing tubes. My fingers and hands, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, because I do have quite a few new subscribers, I have muscle and joint problems, so squeezing tubes isn't easy for me. So I just put some out onto a little palette, and it's easier for me then to just scoop some up and use it that way. Anyway, onto the application. So just a very small amount near the cuticle area, and then I use my brush and the slip solution, and I just gently pat that in and around my cuticle area and make sure it's nice and thin but filled in, that I've got a nice slope from the end of the very end of the cuticle area up to the rest of the enhancement. You want to make sure you've got a nice slope, and blend that right the way down as far as it will stretch the product as far as it will go, so that it sort of blends into the rest of the enhancement. I'm just measuring my thumb there against the other thumb to make sure I get the length of the tip right, that I've managed to break off like a donut. And almost there, so just pat, and if your brush starts getting sticky, that's the time to go back into the slip solution. So dip into your slip solution, dab it off a little bit on the kitchen towel first, then you can touch it, then you can pat it, and then also wipe it off before you go back into the slip solution. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, on to the next nail. So obviously I flash cured it because I don't want it to move. The heat of your hands can make it slide. That's why I like to flash cure mine. A lot of people just do all 5 nails and then put it in the lamp, but I find with the heat of my hands it can start sort of sliding and seeping underneath the cuticle area, underneath the epinicium, or if you want to call it the proximal nail fold. It can slide underneath there with the warmth of your hands, so that's why I like to flash cure it. And there's no harm in flash curing. So again, applying a very small amount into the cuticle area, patting it in place, making sure it's as smooth as I can get it, and thinned out and blended in to the rest of the nail. Next finger, again patting, pressing, just a very small bead, and use your brush to manipulate that product where you want it to go. Pat it into that cuticle area nice and neatly. Hold your brush at a nice angle so that you get a lovely slope coming from the cuticle area, and then blend that right the way in so that there is no step from the new product into the existing product. Blend that in nicely. And I've used this colour for these because if I'd used clear, you wouldn't really see where I was applying it and how I was applying it, if that makes sense. So I've used this colour because I'm going to be, well, I had planned on gel polishing and doing a design over the top. I wasn't worried about the colour underneath, but it made it easier video wise, visually, for you to be able to see the colour so that you can see exactly where I'm placing all of that product and where I thin it out. So this gives you a very good visual that you wouldn't get had I used clear. So I hope that helps someone at least. So last one now, that's the pointer finger again. As you can see, I dip into the slip solution, dab off some onto the kitchen towel, and then pat and press. And I mean, this is gentle movements. You're not, oh, I've got a little bit of something in that one I wasn't happy with. Pull that out. Yeah, gently pat and press and manipulate the product to where you want it to go. Then you can push more firmly when you're thinning it out. But you can see from the side angle there that I've got a nice slope coming up from my proximal nail fold area where the nail meets the proximal nail fold area. I've got a nice slope coming out, so it looks like it's growing out of the nail. It's not a huge step or anything, just a lovely slope that won't need much filing at the end. I know I did a lot of filing in the beginning, but it pays off in the end. So I will now give that all a full cure of 60 seconds and remove the tacky layer with some rubbing alcohol. There we go, because it does have a tacky layer. Now onto the filing. Now if you look at my nails, you can see they don't need an awful lot of filing. I suppose you could probably get away with not even filing these, just buffing them, to be honest. But I'm very pernickety, so I'm using a very gentle file. This is a 240 grit because, like I said, there's not much filing that needs doing. Therefore, you don't need anything harsher than that. So 240 grit. And underneath the lower arch, side walls, get those nice and sharp, just in case any of the Acrygel flowed over. Not that it really did, but like I said, I'm very pernickety and particular about how I do my nails, and I like to get them as perfect as humanly possible. I mean, there's no such thing as perfect as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, as perfect as possible. I'll do the same thing on each nail, and I will look at it from all different angles to make sure that it's nice and straight on the sides. And because I put a bit more on this one and I've got the tip that I made, I'm using a 150 grit on this thumbnail to just get that tip area sorted. There we go, just sort of blend it in on the sides, taper it in, get that point going. There we go. Then I can go back to my 240 grit, go around the cuticle area. Not that it needed much, like I said, because that's the beauty with the Polygel, Acrygel type products, you know, because you can be so accurate with them, you don't have to do a lot of filing, which is excellent. Right, again, around the cuticle area. I don't think I've showed you all fingers on this because it's not a lot of filing that needs to be done. Gently around the cuticle area, blend that in. You see the angle I'm holding my file, because I don't want to file away my apex. I just want to make sure it's nice, smooth slope. You want your nail to slope up and then down. Sorry about the camera going out of focus there. So, we are nearly at the end of the video. Like I said, I don't have a design to show you, so there is only a picture at the end of the picture that I put on my community tab of where I'd broken my nail after I'd fallen down the stairs. Then you will see that I had just put on a temperature change gel polish in blue. Yeah, that's all I had managed to do before I fell down the stairs, and then it all went to pants. So yeah, no design to show you. It's just, this is mainly a filing and application video. So I hope this has helped you guys. For those that are new and starting out, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm just going to continue filing, as you can see, and over the body of the nail. This is my sort of violin movement, and I felt that 240 was a bit too harsh, so I've changed to a buff and spongy type file, which is less harsh and just buffing the rest of the nail because it really didn't need a lot. And this is just basically buffing in where the blend of the Acrygel meets the rest of the nail. Look at it from all angles, and if it's all good, we can carry on. So I switch between files however I feel is necessary, and that's that. So I will leave you here. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. If it has been a help to you or you've enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Subscribe for future content because I do have some exciting things coming up. And yeah, you take care of yourself in these strange times. Things will get better. We'll get there eventually. So yeah. So take care of yourselves now, peeps, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Take off your mask.